So this happened to me last year, and I still get chills thinking about it. My friend Brandon was throwing a Valentine's party at his house. Just like 15 people, mostly couples, but I was single, so I wasn't super excited. But Brandon insisted I come. I got there around 8 p.m. It was a pretty chill party. I ended up talking to this girl named Amy most of the night. Around 11 p.m., I went upstairs to use the bathroom. The downstairs one was occupied. As I walked down the hallway, I noticed that Brandon's parents' bedroom door was cracked open with the light on. I glanced in and froze. There was a guy standing in the middle of the room, just standing there, completely still, staring at the wall. He was wearing dark clothes with his hood up, and I didn't recognize him from the party. Then he slowly turned his head and looked directly at me. I quickly went to the bathroom, and when I came back out, the bedroom door was closed. I went downstairs and found Brandon, and I asked, "Hey, who's the guy in the hoodie upstairs?" Brandon looked confused. "What guy? I don't know anyone wearing a black hoodie." We went back upstairs together. The bedroom was empty. We checked everywhere, closet, under the bed, and there was no one there. Brandon asked everyone at the party, but no one was wearing a black hoodie, and no one had gone upstairs except me. We kind of brushed it off. The party ended around 1 a.m. The next morning, Brandon called me sounding freaked out. "Dude, you need to come over now." When I got there, he took me to his parents' bedroom and pointed to the wall. The same wall the guy has been staring at. Someone had written on it, very small letters, "She looks beautiful when she sleeps." My stomach dropped. Brandon's little sister was 14, and her bedroom was right next door. We checked her room. On her nightstand was a Polaroid picture, a photo of her sleeping in bed, taken from inside her room. Recently, she was wearing the pajamas she wore last night. Brandon called the police. They took the photo, dusted for prints, checked everything, and there was no signs of forced entry. Here's the creepiest part. Brandon's parents have a security camera covering the front door. The police reviewed the footage. Every person who entered during the party also left. The numbers matched perfectly. But I saw someone upstairs, someone who never came through the front door. Brandon's family moved out 2 months later, and his sister was terrified to sleep in their room. I still think about that guy from time to time. How he just stood there completely still. How he looked at me like I wasn't even real. And how he was in the house doing whatever he wanted while we were all downstairs completely unaware. I haven't been to a house party since. Last Valentine's Day, my girlfriend and I went on a double date with her friend Rachel and her new boyfriend, Kyle. They'd been only dating a few weeks, and Rachel wanted us to meet him. We went to a restaurant downtown. Kyle seemed like a decent guy, quiet but polite. Dinner was fine, but I noticed Kyle kept checking his phone every few seconds, smiling at something on his screen. After dinner, Kyle said he needed to make a quick stop at his apartment to grab a gift for Rachel. He asked Rachel to come help him find it. They were gone for maybe 10 minutes. When they came back, Rachel looked pale and quiet. She got in the car without saying anything. The next day, my girlfriend called me crying. Rachel had told her what happened at Kyle's apartment. When they went inside, Kyle led her to his bedroom. On his wall was a huge collection of photos, hundreds of photos of Rachel. There were even surveillance photos, Rachel walking to her car, at her grocery store, at the gym, through her apartment window, all taken without her knowledge. Kyle stood there smiling. "I've been documenting our love story since the day I first saw you." They'd only been dating 3 weeks, but some of those photos were from months ago. He had been watching her long before they met. Rachel ran back to the car. She didn't say anything because she was terrified and didn't know what Kyle would do. Rachel filed a police report the next day, but when the police went to Kyle's apartment, it was completely empty. No furniture, no photos, nothing. They ran his name, Kyle Morrison, but it didn't exist. His ID was fake, his phone was disconnected, and his social media was deleted. He had vanished completely. The police said he likely done this before to other women. They're still looking for him, but it's been a year with no leads. Rachel moved to a different state. She couldn't stay knowing he was out there. What haunts me is that my girlfriend and I were in the car less than 50 feet away while Rachel was looking at those photos. We had no idea. And Kyle drove us home after her like nothing happened. He smiled and waved goodbye. Sometimes I wonder if we were in danger too. If the only reason he let us go was because we were not his target. I don't go on double dates anymore, and I sure as hell don't get in cars with people I barely know. Last Valentine's Day, my girlfriend and I booked a cabin Airbnb for the weekend. It was secluded and romantic, with great reviews. The host, Michael, had a 5-star rating. Friday night, everything went perfectly. But on Saturday morning, I started noticing weird things. The welcome note that we first had when we first arrived had moved. There was more firewood than I remembered bringing in. It was a lot of small things like that. Then I saw 2 wine glasses in the sink. We'd only used one the night before. We couldn't find a second glass, so we'd shared. Now there were 2, and they were both used. I called Michael, the host. He said he hadn't been by and told us to stay inside until he could drive up to check on things. While we waited, my girlfriend noticed something. A small security camera in the corner of the living room, pointed at the couch. The listing only mentioned an exterior camera by the front door. I climbed up to check it, and it wasn't hardwired, just placed on the beam. Recently just still recording. I smashed it. That's when we heard footsteps on the deck outside. Someone walking around the cabin, testing the windows. I called 911. We locked ourselves in the bedroom, and the footsteps stopped. We heard a car drive away. The police arrived and searched the property. They found a crawl space under the cabin with a hidden hatch outside. Inside of it was a sleeping bag, food wrappers, and a laptop. Someone had been living under the cabin. The laptop had folders full of videos recordings of previous guests during their romantic getaways. Michael was investigated but cleared. It was someone who'd been squatting there, watching the Airbnb calendar to know when guests would be there. They never caught the person, and the laptop was wiped clean. We left at 2 a.m. and drove straight home. I deleted my Airbnb account. The worst part was thinking about what we did while someone was watching, while they were right below us, and knowing that they could come inside while we were sleeping. They could have done anything. I'll never stay at another Airbnb because you never know who else has access. You never know who's watching.